Hi, it's Chris again. I did an unboxing of my lightsaber by SaberMasters. It's a fun thing, I can tell you, and so I wanted to give it a bit of a review. First, this thing is nice and solid. It's very obviously something that can be worked with. Interestingly, if we unscrew it gently, we can see the actual electronics in here, which are pretty straightforward. Not a lot of complexity there, and it looks tight, and it looks like something that can put up with some abuse. It does have a big old battery there, which looks like it would be fairly easy to replace. That's a typical sort of battery. I think I could take this to Batteries Plus and easily get a replacement for it. It's a lithium-ion battery, so it's nice to have something that you can access in some way. I don't imagine that I could repair this myself if something really went wrong with it, but something basic like a battery replacement or just something that might feel loose, it's nice to be able to address that on my own. So there are a couple of ways that you can put your tube here into the lightsaber. This is removable, and I like that because for costume purposes, if you wanted to just carry this around and wear it off your belt and you weren't planning on doing any sort of sword fu that day, this looks perfectly reasonable. That looks just as good as any lightsaber that you would see in the movies, and it's sturdy, so it'll take some bouncing around, and if that was hanging from your Jedi belt, no one would question what that was. It's obviously a lightsaber, but it's very easy to reattach that tube to go into action mode, and those just screw in finger tight. You can make them pretty tight. Now if you want a more permanent fixture, it's got these little spots where you can use the Allen wrench to put that in. Now of course that means that you have to use the Allen wrench to take it back off, so it depends on what your mode is. I like the look of these buttons, so I'm going to keep it like this. Now all of your charging is done on this little USB-C. It's a standard USB-C, so it's very easy to find another cable if you happen to lose one that comes with it. It comes with a little short one, which is probably fine for most circumstances, but it's nice to know that it works with a standard part. I love things that work with standard parts. All of your action is done with this button here. This is a good thing and a problem. So there are several different modes that you can work, and they happen by length of button press. When you press the button, the little ring around the switch blinks, and this tells you how many that you want to do. So if we want to select the, so first we hold it on till we get a power on.
Power on.
By the 1980s television announcer. The Incredible Hulk will not be seen this evening, so we may bring you the following special presentation. So we select the sound volume by holding the power button down for half a second. Wow. And it says that the button will flash one time while the blade is off. So,
Volume low.
okay, so that's volume low. Mute.
Volume high.
Volume high. That's probably where most of us are going to have it, unless you're trying to have saber fights in your apartment at night and don't want to disturb the neighbors. So it has a light effect, so we let it flash 2 times.
Unstable.
And so unstable gives you kind of a weird flickery thing. All right. Alright, so we're going to talk about that button again. I'm just trying to turn it off. Alright, so we're going to come back to that. So we have a clash mode where the sabers will flicker and turn white when they clash. I don't know why you would turn that off, but because that's pretty cool, but you can turn it on and off. The other thing we can do is we can change the sound font, which is fun. Now let me turn on the motion control here. I'll explain what that is in a moment.
Motion control on.
Okay, so if we want to change the sound font with a motion control, this uses the movement of the blade to adjust the controls. So a quick twist will change the sound font or turn it on. So that is kind of nice to be able to turn it on. I'm not sure what font we have. So my concern about the motion control, it's kind of nifty, but I can imagine that while you're using it, it would be real easy to activate things while you're actually doing choreography or something like that. So my preference is to have the motion control turned off.
Motion control off.
Easy. All right, so the sound font change, it's going to flash 5 times.
A second.
All right, that's not bad. And we're changing colors again. All right, so let's talk about this button. I like the button. I like the fact that there are ways to access several different things. The one thing that I wish this had was a way to lock your settings. Once you pick your sound font, once you pick your color, once you pick how you want it to move, really all you want to do is you want to turn it on and fight with it and turn it off. And I find that it's very easy while you're trying to do something to have it go into these other modes. And that is my one complaint about this. Everything else is fun. This is very durable. It'll take some actual clashing going on, so you don't have to be real gentle and afraid that you're going to break it. The tube is replaceable. So if you do manage to break this thing, I think you're going to have to work pretty hard to do that. But if you do manage to break it, they will sell you a replacement tube. So you can have backups for that. But the one thing that is a problem is the fact that everything happens through this button. If there was some kind of a way for me to say, okay, let's lock the settings, that's the way I want it, everything else is fine. And I love the fact that this is something that could actually be used to do some real fighting. It's a good toy. So for kids and adults alike. So that's my review of the lightsaber. Personally, I think you need one, but SaberMasters, if you do have a way to put a lock on the settings, that would be lovely. That would be perfectly lovely, and I would love to see that happen. So that's it. SaberMasters lightsaber. Thumbs up.